Hello, this is Solomon speaking. I'm going to tell the story today of how I was assaulted. But before I do so, I will mention that the footage you're likely to be watching in the background is, I believe, the very first TAS demo I ever recorded with Nolem's TAS plugin. I wanted to record more TAS demos for this video, but my plugin wasn't working. So if you like this format, this style of video, let me know, and if so, I'll run the problem by Nolem and see if I can get it fixed. Anyway, the assault. So this was in December, before Christmas. I was walking down the street at around 9 p.m. I happened to be on a date at the time, and somebody whom I presume was a Methhead, clearly off his face on some substance, was walking in our direction. And he was muttering things about me under his breath, homophobic things, etc. I actually didn't notice him at first, but I made the mistake of turning back to look at him once he'd walked past me. And it was at that point that he decided he would start walking back toward us. So he kept verbally harassing me, what, derogatory term for female genitalia, you know the one. He stood in front of me, and see, because I live in a place that is reputed for being very safe, the last thing I expected him to do was to punch me. But he did. He punched me right beneath my right pec, kind of on my serratus anterior ribcage, and it was at that point that I just kind of locked eyes with him, which was probably a mistake, because it could be seen as threatening. I don't really know, though. I've never been in a situation like that. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. And during that time where I was thinking, he punched me again, on my right temple. And I think I managed to pacify the situation by using kind of open palms, body language, trying to communicate that I didn't want to fight. The girl I was with was telling him to leave us alone, and miraculously he did. He walked away saying, "I did nothing wrong." So because of that remark, I joked that he might have been one of Chris Langan's acolytes. I think the thing I said immediately after the assault actually was "boys will be boys." The girl I was with was not amused, and understandably so. So I called the cops pretty much immediately after. Oh, by the way, there was one bystander who did absolutely nothing. He didn't so much as check to see if I was okay afterwards. He didn't even call the cops, he just went about his business. So don't trust bystanders, even if it's just one. Bystander effect, Anyway, so I called the cops, and they said it matched the description of an assault that took place earlier in the night at a train station. So we then went to emergency, just to see if I was alright, and on the whole I was, actually. His assault was almost completely ineffectual. I sustained some minor bruising after the first punch in the area that I described, and I wasn't even concussed from his punch to the head. I only had some minor cuts on the inside of my mouth, and I think that's because I wear a retainer. Right, like it must have cut against the metal. Anyway, the most troubling finding in the hospital was that my blood pressure was high. I considered that odd since I'm physically fit, not on anabolic steroids. My sodium intake isn't out of control, so I subsequently had it tested at a GP, and it wasn't elevated then. So that's good. I think the most troubling thing is not so much what happened, but what could have happened. I mean, had he brandished a knife or punched a little harder, perhaps I wouldn't be here. And perhaps I also wouldn't be here if I decided to fight back. I mean, I could have killed the guy. I'm not even claiming to be a great fighter or anything, but I've heard plenty of horror stories where people fighting in self-defense accidentally end up with manslaughter charges on their hands because you can deliver a punch that will kill somebody. They can fall to the pavement, hit their head, and die. That was on my mind during the assault, and that's partly why I didn't fight back. Had he continued to punch me, I probably would have fought back, but let's not go there. Before I close the video, I'll state that I really wanted to get the security footage from the police. I wanted to upload it to my YouTube, if for nothing else than just the meme factor. I'm sure it would be quite funny to watch me take 2 punches and just stand there going like, what the heck was that for, man? But for any of you viewers out there, don't get any ideas. That's all. Thank you kindly for watching. I bid you adieu, and I will see you next time.